You know how sometimes you just stumble across a question, a real head scratcher that just sort of sticks with you?
Definitely. And it's funny, even with all the incredible tech and science we have now,
Right.
there's still these things, these really bizarre, sometimes unsettling events from history
Yeah.
that we can't explain.
Exactly. And that's what we're digging into today.
Yeah, we're aiming to scratch that intellectual itch, you know? It's kind of humbling, really, realizing the world still keeps some pretty big secrets.
Totally. So we've been looking into 7 of what we think are humanity's strangest, maybe creepiest, and definitely mind-bending unsolved mysteries.
So yeah, get ready. It's quite a ride. We're going to explore these enigmas that still baffle researchers and, well, capture people's imaginations.
It's going to be intriguing, maybe a little unsettling too. Okay, where do we start?
Let's go way back first. Our first stop is the late 1500s, the Roanoke colony.
Ugh, Roanoke. Okay, so picture this. English settlers, they're trying to get a foothold in the New World, right? On Roanoke Island, off the coast of modern-day North Carolina.
Things seem okay initially, but then the governor, John White, he has to sail back to England for more supplies, needs
Yeah.
stuff for the colony.
And he gets delayed, massively
He
delayed.
does. And this is where it gets really strange. When White finally gets back, 3 years later, the entire settlement is just gone.
Gone. Like over 100 people, men, women, children, vanished.
And the weird part is the houses weren't, burned down or anything suggesting a big fight. They were dismantled, taken
It
apart,
suggests maybe they left deliberately, not in a panic.
possibly. And the only clue, the only thing left behind was a single word carved into a post.
Croatoan.
Just that, Croatoan.
So what happened? I mean, that's the big question, isn't it?
Exactly. Were they attacked? Maybe by local tribes? Or did they decide to join a local tribe? Croatoan was the name of a nearby island and the tribe there.
Or maybe disease, or just, the wilderness was too harsh.
Could be. Or something else entirely we haven't even thought of. It's just they vanished. And it really shows you how tough those early colonial days were.
Yeah, over 100 people, poof. And here we are, centuries later, still asking what happened. Some mysteries just stick around.
Okay, let's jump forward quite a bit now. Several centuries. A totally different kind of mystery. The wow signal.
Oh, the cosmic wow. Yeah, this one's fascinating. Okay, so it's August 15th, 1977. There's this radio astronomer, Jerry Eman.
At Ohio State University's Big Ear Radio Telescope. Basically listening to space static, right?
Uh-huh. And suddenly, bam, this incredibly strong, very specific radio signal pops up. Lasts for exactly 72 seconds, coming from deep space.
And the key thing here, it wasn't just any strong signal. It was narrow band and right around a frequency that scientists had sort of predicted.
Like, hypothesized this is what aliens might use if they were trying to signal.
Precisely. It matched the expectations for an artificial, maybe intelligent extraterrestrial source almost perfectly.
Which is why Eamon freaked out, basically. Circled the printout and just wrote, wow, W, next to it.
You can just imagine seeing that, right? But here's the kicker.
They've never heard it again.
Never. Despite looking and looking, pointing telescopes at that same patch of sky countless times, nothing. Just that one 72-second burst.
So strange. A one-off cosmic shout, or
Yeah.
what? Where did it come from? Why? Just once? Was it natural? Artificial?
We just don't know. It's tantalizing. A potential hint of something amazing, but ultimately it leaves us hanging with more questions than answers about, are we alone?
Okay, let's pivot again to something maybe even more bizarre, almost unbelievable, the dancing plague of 1518.
Yeah, this one sounds like something out of a weird fable, but it actually happened.
Yeah.
Strasbourg, France, July 1518.
It starts with one woman, right? Frau Trofea steps into the street and just starts dancing.
And she doesn't stop. Not like happy dancing. It's uncontrolled, compulsive. She just keeps going. For days.
And then it spreads.
It spreads. Within a week, dozens of other people start doing the same thing. Then hundreds.
Yeah.
Dancing uncontrollably in the streets.
Hundreds just dancing.
Yeah. For weeks, apparently. And it wasn't fun. People were dancing until they collapsed from exhaustion. Reports say some people literally danced themselves to death.
That's horrifying. What on earth could cause that?
Well, people have tried to figure it out. Mass hysteria is one theory, like a psychological contagion.
But on that scale, hundreds of people.
It seems extreme. Other ideas include maybe some kind of neurological disease we don't understand, or poisoning,
Yeah.
like ergot fungus on rye bread, which can cause hallucinations and convulsions.
Like a bad trip, but citywide.
Kind of, yeah. But none of these theories perfectly explain everything. Why just dancing? Why did it spread like that? It's still not fully understood. a really strange, dark historical moment.
Wow. Okay, from dancing to something much darker. The Dyatlov Pass incident, 1959.
Yeah, this one is deeply unsettling. You have 9 experienced Russian hikers. They're on an expedition in the Ural Mountains, set up camp on a slope known now as Dyatlov Pass.
Experienced hikers, key point, they knew what they were doing.
Exactly. But something goes terribly wrong one night. Search parties later find their tent, but it's been cut open from the inside.
From the inside, so they cut their way out.
Seems like it. And they fled, ran out into the freezing sub-zero darkness. And here's the really strange part. Many of them were barefoot or only partially dressed.
Yeah.
In the middle of a Russian winter.
Why would they do that? Panic. But panic about what?
That's the mystery. And it gets worse. When they found the bodies scattered across the slope, the details are disturbing.
Go on.
Some had massive internal injuries, like crushed ribs, fractured skulls, but no corresponding external wounds, no bruises, no cuts on the skin to show how they got those injuries.
I mean, how is that possible? Like internal damage with no outside sign?
Exactly. Baffling.
Why?
And others? Well, some were missing their eyes. One woman was missing her tongue.
Oh my God, that's horrific.
It is. And again, no clear explanation. Theories range from an avalanche, though the scene didn't quite fit, to secret military weapons tests, infrasound causing panic, even, more out there stuff like attacks by unknown creatures or Yeti encounters.
But nothing really fits all the facts.
Nothing convincingly explains all of it. The internal injuries without external signs, missing body parts, why experienced hikers would flee their tent like that. It's a chilling puzzle.
Okay. Let's move to something maybe more widely known, but still mysterious. The Bermuda Triangle.
Ah, yes, the infamous patch of the Atlantic, roughly between Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, about 500,000 square miles of ocean.
And the legend is planes and ships just disappear there without a trace.
Right. And we're not just talking old sailing ships from centuries ago, although there are those stories too. They're documented disappearances of modern aircraft and vessels.
Sometimes in good weather, right. No SOS calls.
Exactly. Calm seas, clear skies, and then gone. No wreckage found, no Mayday signals picked up. Flight 19 is probably the most famous example. 5 Navy bombers vanished during a training flight in 1945, and the search planes sent after them also disappeared.
So what are the theories here, beyond, sea monsters and aliens?
Well, the more rational explanations point to things like sudden violent storms that can pop up quickly in that area. The Gulf Stream is a powerful current there. Magnetic anomalies affecting compasses have been suggested, though that's debated. Methane hydrates erupting from the seabed could potentially sink ships.
Plausible stuff, and just a lot of traffic, right? Statistically, more incidents might happen there.
That's definitely a factor. It's a very busy shipping lane and air corridor. So maybe it's just a combination of natural hazards and human error, amplified by the legend.
But then you get those cases that just seem inexplicable, which fuels the weirder theories.
Like time warps or, alien abduction, underwater civilizations. The mystery persists because some cases just don't have neat, tidy explanations. It taps into that fear of the vast unknown ocean.
Okay, shifting gears again. A human mystery this time, and a really chilling one. The Zodiac Killer.
A truly terrifying case from Northern California, late 1960s, early 70s.
What made Zodiac so infamous wasn't just the murders, though those were brutal, but the way he communicated.
Right. He taunted the police and the public, sent letters to newspapers, bragging about the killings, threatening more. And he included these incredibly complex ciphers, these coded messages.
Cryptograms, saying they contained his identity, right?
Exactly, like a twisted game. He's officially linked to 5 murders, but in his letters he claimed he'd killed as many as 37 people. We don't know if that's true,
But the fear was real, and the manhunt was huge.
Massive, one of the biggest ever, really. But they never caught him. His identity remains unknown, officially anyway. Lots of suspects over the years, but no definitive proof.
Those ciphers, they weren't all solved, were they?
No. For decades, some remained uncracked. In fact, one of his most famous ones, the 340 cipher, was only finally solved in 2020 by amateur code breakers after 51 years.
Oh, 51 years. What did it say? Did it reveal who he was?
Unfortunately, no. It was more taunting, rambling stuff.
Yeah.
No name. So the central mystery, who was the Zodiac, remains unsolved. It's just this lingering, creepy cold case.
Okay, last one for this deep dive. Let's go back to something ancient and completely baffling, the Voynich manuscript.
The Voynich. Yeah, this is a fascinating object. It's a book, a manuscript, probably from the early 15th century, so around 600 years old.
Rediscovered in 1912. And the mystery is nobody can read it.
Nobody. It's written in this unique script, using characters or an alphabet that doesn't match any known language. And despite incredible effort, it remains completely undeciphered.
It's not just text, though, right? There are drawings.
Oh yeah, tons of illustrations, and they're as weird as the text.
Hmm.
There are drawings of plants that botanists can't identify. They don't match any known species. Strange astronomical charts and diagrams.
And the weirdest part? Maybe.
The drawings of small naked women bathing in these elaborate interconnected pools and tubes filled with green liquid.
Yeah. What is that about? It's so bizarre.
Completely. And people have thrown everything at this manuscript. Top cryptographers from World War I, World War II, people who broke enemy codes they tried, linguists, historians, computer scientists. Nothing. Not a single word definitively translated.
So what could it be? Is it a code? A lost language?
That's the debate. Theories include an ancient herbal or medical text in some forgotten language or code, maybe now a chemical treatise, possibly an elaborate, meaningless hoax designed to fool someone centuries ago.
Or maybe something more exotic, like from somewhere else.
People have suggested that too, though it's highly speculative. Unknown civilization, alien knowledge, you name it. The bottom line is it's a 600-year-old book filled with information, potentially, and we have absolutely no idea what it says. It's a total enigma.
Wow. Okay, so Roanoke, wow. Dancing Plague, Dyatlov Pass, Bermuda Triangle, Zodiac, Voynich. That's quite a list of head-scratchers.
It really is. And it's, like you said earlier, humbling. With all we know, all we can do now, there's still these fundamental mysteries just sitting there, unsolved.
Makes you realize there's still so much we don't understand about history, about the universe, even about ourselves.
Absolutely. And maybe that unknown element is part of the fascination, right? The fact that not everything is neatly explained keeps things interesting.
Definitely. So for everyone listening, which one of these got under your skin the most? Which one do you find the most unsettling or just plain weird?
Yeah, or maybe there's another big unsolved mystery you find really compelling that we didn't even touch on today. We'd be curious to know.
For sure. Consider this just scratching the surface. There's always more strange stuff out there to explore.
Absolutely. The quest for answers, even for mysteries like these, never really ends.